Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about swords' weight, because that's actually a common misconception. A lot of people think that medieval swords were very big, very hefty, and above all clumsy. So that you required a really huge amount of strength, physical strength, to wield these swords. Now, not only that is incomplete as a statement, but it is also historically incorrect. Now, Middle Ages. We need to understand that the Middle Ages were a time in which fighting was a close quarter situation, okay? So when we were fighting, it was in battle most of the times, and so we were probably going to be surrounded by a lot of different enemies. In order to avoid that, obviously, we used formations, we used tactical advisors and strategies, complex strategies of formations. However, it could happen. Now, a heavy weapon also is a slow weapon. And a slow weapon is most likely not going to be able to save your life in a real combat situation. Some people say that there are advantages and disadvantages. And so let's talk about these for a second. Obviously, the advantage of a light weapon is the idea of being able to move it, quickly. It's actually easier to move it around, to swing it. However, what a lot of people say is that if you have a bigger weapon, you will deal more damage. And the reason being that the impact caused by a heavier weapon is higher. In mechanics, an impact is a high force or shock applied over a short time period when two or more bodies collide. Such a force or acceleration usually has a greater effect than a lower force applied over a proportionally longer time period. The effect depends critically on the relative velocity of the bodies to one another. In physics, mass is a property of a physical body which determines the body's resistance to being accelerated by a force and the strength of its mutual gravitational attraction with other bodies. So the mass of an object determines its acceleration in the presence of an applied force. This phenomenon is called inertia. So it would not make sense to bring a heavy weapon in battle, because you need to be quick in combat. A sword needs to have the right weight. It should not be too thin, because that obviously would break. On the other hand, though, it must not be so heavy as a lot of people imagine, because it would not be effective at all. The Zweihänder in German, for two-hander, also called two-handed sword, great sword, is a two-handed sword primarily of the Renaissance. It is a true two-handed sword because wielding it requires two hands, unlike other large swords that also can be used with one. Now, as far as the morphology is concerned, due to their size and weight, typically at least 1.4 meters long and with a weight of over 2 kilos. Two-handed swords, great swords, required two hands. As such, they require at least 25 centimeters for the grip. Great swords above 4 kilos are considered to be more ceremonial than practical. 2 kilos. 2 kilos. Sorry, bodybuilders, your presence is not needed here. Medieval swords, they were sturdy, they were robust, but they were also flexible. That is the real ability of a blacksmith. That's the ability of a master of forging. He's been able to have both qualities, sturdiness and flexibility. If it really was just a matter of weight, then use a hammer. That's percussion, that's weight. As far as I'm concerned, I'll use a sword. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.